we go. Hey guys, hang on a second. Hello, hello. Who's with me? Josh, you're with me, aren't you, right now?
Yes, sir. What's up, Manny?
How you doing today, bud? Friday afternoon.
I'm hanging in there. TGIF, right?
Absolutely. We got a fun evening of teachers, educators. What was that? And we've got teachers from all over the place. At least I hope they're from all over the place. Not all from the same school. That'd be really weird. And we are here to appreciate teachers, educators, and all the crap that they go through. And I don't mean just for the last few months or many months. I just mean overall in general. I know I was a real crappy kid in high school. I was the worst. I mean, I had a dirty look. Every time they called on me, hey, Manuel, can you answer this? And I'd stand up and I'd give the teacher a dirty look. I got in trouble for that once. You ever get kicked out of school?
No, sir.
Well, lucky you. Yeah, neither have I. I got someone who wants to say a little something before we get started with the educators here. What's up,
Erasmo Castro.
What's up, my man?
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Actually, I'm I learned something new today.
Oh yeah, what's that?
I didn't know your name was Manuel.
Get out of here. Hi, Zuri. I use Darius.
I didn't know your name was Manuel.
Get out of here.
Hey, I guess that's what one gets when one hangs around in the green room, waiting to be brought onto screen.
Ain't that something, that green room? Anyway, we're going to have some 8 to 10, maybe a little more, teachers, educators. And in the meantime, whoever else wants to log on, I can send you a link if you're a teacher only, please. And hey, hi, Rose. Hi, Lola. Anything you want to say, Adolfo, before I start bringing the guests in?
Well, again, thank you all so much for inviting me to for a couple of words. To all our educators out there, it has been a different year. I won't say it's been a challenging year because every year holds its own challenges. And let me say that as the year started and we started with this coronavirus, there has been no more out there on the front line than our educators on our campus. And one of the things that I hope that y'all felt from myself and from several other individuals who were concerned about your health, your well-being, and your life is that we care about you and we appreciate everything that you do for our community, our kids out there. And it's one of those things, guys, that you don't really get to appreciate until you are stuck with a bunch of kids at home and you go like, holy moly. This is what a little bit of our educators have to go through. But everyone out there, when I say educators, I mean everyone from the cafeteria, custodial staff, counselors, teachers, everyone, because one of the things is that I want to make very, very clear that educators does not only involve our teachers. It involves every single individual that our students and our parents come into contact with at our school district, at our charter schools, and at our private schools. So to everyone out there that is an educator, as the Merry Christmas. Enjoy family and friends these next 2, 3, 4 weeks, and know that as soon as the year starts, we're out there for you. We love you. We appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you for those words, buddy. I appreciate you coming by just for a few minutes.
Thank y'all.
I'll catch you later, Osmo.
Thank y'all for what you do, guys. Keeping it real.
Thanks, Erasmo. Talk to you later.
Alrighty. Let's begin. Let's start off with Maggie. Oh, I can't hear you. Are you muted? Yeah, you are. Oh, you got to unmute yourself, honey. Hey, Maggie. Hi, Maggie.
Hi. Yipes. I didn't know I was going to be the first one up.
That's okay. How are you doing tonight?
I'm hanging on for dear life is what I like to say.
Glad to be off for a couple of weeks, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Be reading some fun stuff just for me. Fun stuff.
Oh, that's cool. Tell me. Okay, this show is all about you guys. It's not about me. It's not about Josh. What? How long have you been teaching?
This is my 25th year. But I left the school district.
25 years?
Oh, yeah. And I left the school district for 4. So this would have been my 29th year. I was out.
Holy moly.
Yeah, I was going to be a stay-at-home mom, and that didn't work out too well.
How long? So, okay. So what do you teach, if you can say that?
Yeah, I'm an elementary librarian. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
The Dewey Decimal System. I always hated that.
All day.
I hated that.
All day.
Go find that book. How do you find a book with these numbers? But
731.5.
Yes. Oh my goodness, it's been a long time. Thank God for the internet.
Yeah.
Why did you get started? What made you want to be a teacher, or was that always a plan, or librarian? Yeah. I'm going to call you an educator, okay?
Oh, that's fine. Either way, I'm good with it. Either way. When I was in high school, I thought sign language was pretty cool. So I decided I want to be a teacher for the hearing impaired because sign language was cool. And I went to Texas Women's University. They have a degree there in communications. And so first class I took, they told us, if you're in here because you think sign language is cool, then you're in the wrong profession. Then I was like, yeesh, what do I do? But I started the classes I took. It all involves linguistics, and I really enjoyed it. That's when I realized I really enjoy language. So I was a teacher for 5 years in the classroom and realized I didn't like being in the classroom all day with the same kids.
Oh, no.
So on my 5th year, I told my administrator, I need out. Like, I just need out. So I became an itinerant teacher for the hearing impaired. And at that time, I was getting my master's in reading and finishing it up. And a friend of mine said, why don't you get your master's in library science? So I'm like, oh, that sounds good. That's a good next step. So I remembered then that I had wanted to be a librarian when I was a little girl. So I got the degree and became a librarian.
Okay, I got to stop you there for a second. Who wants to be a librarian when they're a little girl? Where did that come from?
Oh my gosh. That was the joy of reading. Since I was a little girl, the joy of reading. I love it. I love it. Yeah, yeah, big time.
So you've been at the same school all this time?
No, I was a teacher for the hearing impaired at Egley in Brownsville.
Okay.
And then I was itinerant for 2 years, which means I traveled around BISD working with the hearing impaired kids that were out in regular classes. And then I became a librarian for 7 years at Pettis Elementary, and then became a stay-at-home mom and realized I didn't like being in the same room with the same kid all day. Don't anybody tell my kid. It was too much. It was just like being in the classroom, and I don't know. So then I ended up going and working at the university for a while, got my doctorate, and then came back to the school district because the university kind of left me waiting to see if I had a job or not. And I went back and got a job at Longoria. Was there for 10 years. They closed our school down, and this is my second year at Canales Elementary. And interestingly, I think I was a kinder student at Canales Elementary, so full circle.
No way. Wow.
Well, I know. We found pictures of when I was in kinder, class pictures.
That's awesome.
It is. It's pretty cool.
So you've been there a long time. You've got to have some favorite moment or something that sticks out over the last 25 years or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Hilda just said she worked with me. Hilda and I worked together at Bettis for a while. I don't know. I might get in trouble. I might get fired suddenly. I won't have a job after Christmas.
Oh, no.
For this. I don't know. Just funny stuff. One time we had a gas leak, and the principal ran around door to door telling everybody to leave, and they forgot to tell us in the library, and they forgot the nurse. And the secretary came running in and wanted to know why her child was still in the pre-K class in the library. And she was like, "Get out."
No way.
Week. Oh, yeah. And we were like, whatever. We kept going, yeah, sure. And she's like, "Forget you." And she grabbed her kid and ran out. And then I suddenly was like, oh, my gosh. Okay. So we went out. We walked the kids out, and the entire campus was way on the other side. And I just turned to the kids and said, "Run, children, run." So, and then my feelings were hurt because they forgot to tell us that there was a gas leak.
Oh my goodness, that could have been ugly. Glad nobody got hurt, nothing was wrong, right?
No.
All right. Well, we're glad you survived that carnage back then. We do appreciate you, even librarians. I gave them a hard time also. I didn't mind being in the library. I just didn't care looking for. We had to do those little cards. What you had to do is look for the cards or take the card out and go get the book or something like that. I can't even remember. I'm trying to remember.
Olden times, we don't do it like that anymore.
Yeah, I know. I'm showing my age, I guess. Yeah, that was quite a bit ago. Well, thank you for what you do. We just got a few minutes here with everybody. I do appreciate you. We all appreciate you. Like I told everyone else earlier, I think teachers get the short end of the stick too many times. And on behalf of myself, I know Josh feels the same way. Obviously, Ed Osmo did. We thank you for what you do. You're not in the military, but you know what? You might as well be. We thank you for what you do. Sometimes it does, I bet. Yeah, especially when I was there.
Yeah, when I was with the little ones, the hearing impaired, everybody would say, "They're so cute." And I'd be like, "Yeah, I lived with them for 8 hours straight." But no, I love it. I miss the kids a lot. When I was working at the university, I taught a couple of courses, and I miss the little ones a lot. And people ask me, "Why don't you become an administrator?" I'm like, I love being with the little ones. I'm a hugger, so I love to hug the kids.
So you handled very young to up to what grade would you say?
When I worked with the hearing impaired, our youngest one was 2 years, 10 months.
Oh, wow.
We were supposed to have waited till she was 3 years, but her parents were ready. Everybody felt like she was ready. She was 2 months short, so we got her in at that age. So I've worked with, and I had a pre-K kinder class. So we had 3-year-old to 5-year-olds with the hearing impaired. And then after that, I've always done elementary. So right now we have pre-K 3 through 5th grade.
Oh,
so considered working secondary, but I just really love the babies a lot.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. It's cool to have people. So generally, do librarians like what they do?
I think so. I taught university classes also for librarians, people who are getting their master's degree in library science. And one of the things a lot of students said is they didn't realize how much work goes into being a librarian, how much goes into working a library. A lot of people get into it because they enjoy reading. Thankfully, more people are getting into it because they enjoy technology, because I firmly believe that's integrated with the libraries. But I love it. I love it because it's constant. My personality it's the constant. Every 45 minutes, I get a new group. There's constant interruptions a little bit. Sometimes I get a little bit frazzled, but I love it. I like everything about it. The best part, I always tell people, the best part is I get to talk about books all day long.
Oh, that's awesome. So if you had to do it again, all over again, you wouldn't change a thing?
I might be a marine biologist.
A marine biologist, like George Costanza.
Yeah, I joke around about that. That'd be my second dream job, a marine biologist. Emphasis research on whales. But no, library, I get a chance to research and help kids research all day long. So it's awesome.
That is so cool. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. We do appreciate you, and don't be a stranger. We may have you back again sometime in the near future.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Maggie. Everybody say goodbye to Maggie for now. All righty. Let me do this roulette wheel. Who we got next over here? I'm going to find somebody who looks bored. See, I'm going to find somebody who looks bored. Oh, no. Not going to pick on anybody. Laura. Are you muted? I think you're muted.
Hi, sorry.
Hi, that's okay.
That's like the saying of the year. You're on mute.
Yes, we've heard that a lot the last 10 or 12 months, haven't we?
Yeah.
All right. Tell us about you. Where do you teach at?
I work for BISD. I am a pre-K 4 teacher. So
okay.
I work with the little ones, little babies. I taught 1 year in 4th grade. And the next year they moved me to pre-K and I was really scared. And but I love it. I enjoy it. I really love working with the little ones. It's a lot of fun. I actually work with Miss Borrego, Veronica. She's my work wife, I like to say.
Work wife. That's so cool. And how long have you been doing this?
I worked as a paraprofessional for 3 years in Los Fresnos. And this is my 10th year with BISD, or maybe 14 years that I've been in education.
Oh, okay. Nice long time. Also. And I'm going to ask a stupid question, but I'm guessing you love what you do.
Yes. Even through all the heartache and the stress and the everything, it's worth it. To me, it's worth it to show up every day for my kids. So
yeah. Is there now? I'm asking this of everyone. Your most memorable moment that you can remember.
I'm gonna tell you, it's kind of my first year as a parent. I was very green. I had no idea what it was. I went from when I was in high school, I wanted to be a nurse. So I actually have I was a certified nursing assistant for many years. And I just changed my degree because I realized that I didn't like blood, seeing the blood. And, so I said, well, let me give teaching a try. I have a lot of family members who are teachers. So I got hired in Los Fresnos as a paraprofessional. And I was very green. I had no idea what I was doing. Never, I was the youngest of my family. Well, I have a little brother, but I had never been around kids before, the other parents told me, just watch it with the shoes. I'm like, with the shoes? I didn't get it. Well, the first day of school, a little boy was like, they all cry the first day of school. I was in kinder. And he was crying and crying and crying. And of course, he threw up on my shoe.
Oh, nice.
So I just remember I could see it coming and I'm trying to calm him down. I'm like, stop, it's okay. You're going to be okay. And all over my shoes. And then I understood what they meant. Watch it with the shoes. Don't wear expensive shoes. I would have said, don't wear expensive shoes because.
Oh, wow. What made you do that? What made you, was that a decision you made a long time ago to be a teacher? How did that work out?
I come from a family of educators. My grandfather was a teacher at Cummings Middle School for many years. My aunts are teachers in Austin. My uncle's a teacher. Everybody's teachers. And I guess in my rebellious nature, I said, no, I'm going to try the medical field, right? So I tried it. I got my certified nursing assistant. I worked for a couple of years and I didn't really like it. And for a couple of years, for a year or so, I was kind of lost on what I wanted to do. And then I said, well, they offered me the job in Los Fresnos. And I said, I'm going to take it and let's see if I like it. And I ended up loving it. It was like a calling, where you have that epiphany where So then I was going to school and then, so I ended up going into the teaching profession and it was the best decision I ever made. I love it. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else.
Yeah.
To me, it's worth it. Yeah.
Go back 20 years or whatever it was, you would change nothing. You do it all over again.
Yeah, it was worth it. It's worth it to me. And a lot of people tell me, why do you want to be a teacher? They don't. They're like, you're gonna make more money being a medical professional than you are a teacher. And I'm like, but it's just, I enjoy the interaction. I enjoy the smiles. And something I've learned over the years is that kids give you unconditional love. They see you, and like, at least from what I've experienced with my students, is it's all love. I've never had a student not enjoy being in my class, or I've never had, somebody say, no, well, he doesn't like you. It's all love, and it's unconditional. And they love you regardless if your hair is messed up or if you spilled coffee on your shirt. You're beautiful. We love you. You're the best. So, and I love that. And to me, that's worth more than any amount of money I could ever get. Because you're not going to find somewhere where you get unconditional love like that. Never.
I hear that a lot. And when I talk to you, you can see the emotion, the love you have for the job and for the children and for what you do. And I think that's awesome. I think anybody who doesn't have that, unfortunately, this job is not for you if you don't really embrace it completely. And it's had to be tough. I'm not going to go real deep into this, but I can imagine during the COVID last few months, it's been a lot harder to do your job.
It has been very hard, but we have to adapt. And if there's one thing I can say about myself and my coworkers and any teacher that has done this, we really had to rewrite how education is given. Like we had to go, it was like overnight. I am a very hands-on type of person. I need to be able to see my kids and see that they're understanding and to see that they know what I'm saying to them. And to have to do it through a computer, it has been so hard on me. And, not being able to sit there and tell them, no, like this, do it like this, do it like Ms. Dominguez. And just to see them, sometimes I see their little faces and they're so confused, and it's hard, and it has been very hard, but we try to do as much as I can, and I probably do more than I should, and I probably worry a whole lot more than I should.
I hear that a lot from teachers.
And am I doing enough? And that's a big thing with me. And they always tell me, you're doing great. I've had parents, and my parents are awesome. The parents that I have had have been so awesome. And it's like, you're doing great, Ms. Dominguez. Don't worry. We're going to do everything we can. And that's really awesome to have that parental support from your parents, because it's hard. I'm assuming it's hard on them. It's hard on everybody,
Oh, yeah. I can imagine it has been. Laura, thank you for being a teacher. Thank you for taking care of these kids. Hopefully some parents are watching and you do take care of their child and you're trying to teach them. I don't even know what you would teach at that time. I can't even remember. All I remember was that first grade. It might have been first grade. Yeah, it was an older lady, and she would walk around. She would take off her blouse, open it up, and just walk around with her bra showing. And we didn't know anything. We didn't think anything about it back then. Obviously, I'm sure that's why she did it too. But later, I was like, that was really weird.
We do a lot in pre-K. You'd be surprised what my babies can do. They are like, we do a lot.
Well, that's awesome. I do appreciate your enthusiasm. We can see it on your face when you're talking about it. Thank you for what you do. And again, doors always open here for some future show. If you can be available, we would love to have you back at some point.
Yes.
Talk about different topics then, but right now it's just about you guys.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me.
Everybody, Laura Dominguez, say goodbye to Laura. Thank you for coming by.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
New Year, everybody. All righty. Yeah, that was weird. I think it was first grade. I remember drawing a dinosaur or whatever I was doing, and then looking up, and she's walking around. Her blouse is all open. She's walking around showing her bras. She was just hanging out there, Are
you still in therapy for that, Manny?
Yeah, actually, I just finished last week.
Good to know.
All righty, let's keep the ball rolling here. 1 second. Lupita.
Hello, Mr. Manny. How are you doing?
How are you tonight?
All right.
Thanks for coming by.
For a little bit.
I bet. I can imagine it is. Everybody's so happy. Once that, I don't know, was it 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, whatever it is for some?
Yes.
You guys watching the clock. The last hour, everybody's watching a clock. What time is it? I can imagine. So, yes. What do you do?
I'm a high school English teacher. I've been at Hannah High School. You see my shirt. I've been at Hannah High School for 22 years now. For BISD, I've worked for this is my 27th year. I started off at Perkins Middle School, my first 5 years. Then I transferred to Hannah, and I haven't left.
English.
I'm sorry, Hannah's also my alma mater. So.
Oh, okay. So why English? Why was that by choice, or did it just kind of fall into your lap?
Well, I originally wanted to teach theater arts. I really liked the arts. I still do. I love it. At the time when I went to college, it was only offered in Edinburgh, and it just wasn't feasible, even though Edinburgh's not that far. But so I said, okay, my second choice is English, and I love it too, literature, and so I enjoy it. I'm very good at grammar, writing, reading, and I like to read and teach children to read too.
So you've done this for quite a long time, English.
Yes. At Perkins, I taught reading. For my first 5 years, I taught reading at Perkins, and then I transferred to Hannah, and I taught both English and reading. But for the
reading English, to me, it's like kind of pushed together.
Yes, it should be. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I took, I didn't think I was good in English. And then, I was getting D's, and then I was put in a college English class my senior year, and I did really well. I don't know how I passed it.
Yes.
But I was one of those that did homework at the very last minute the night before school instead of the 4 days I had to do homework.
Were you an avid reader?
I did. My father I always used to see him read the newspaper every morning, and especially on Sunday, he'd go through the whole Sunday paper.
Yes.
Sitting in the living room with a cigar and read that newspaper is what got me started in reading. And from there on, it just went from newspaper to a magazine to a book.
Mm-hmm. And, that's what makes you a great writer. That's what I tell my students. You want to be a great writer? You need to read a lot because your brain internalizes the patterns of the English language with, spelling, grammar, punctuation, everything.
David says, I think she was my reading teacher at Hannah. Do you remember David Castro?
Really? Well, I've been teaching there a long time, so 22 years. So if you were a student during that time, I might have been your teacher.
Yeah, and now he's teaching too, and that's awesome. So what was it for you that, I don't know, did you just decide to teach? Or I hope I didn't ask you this already. I'm sorry. Some stuff is kind of melting together. Why teaching?
Just like Miss Laura mentioned, I grew up in a family of teachers. My dad, may he rest in peace, he was a teacher, and my uncles, aunt, and yeah, I just had teachers. I grew up with teachers all around me, and I think it was Miss Laura, or maybe it was Miss Maggie said, it was a calling, just when you're a little kid and you always gravitate toward playing school with your little chalkboard. And of course I would play with my siblings and my cousins and my little friends. And I always wanted to be the teacher,
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think at that age, I wanted to be a race car driver or fireman or something like that. Teaching, I don't know why. I don't know why teaching didn't pop in. Now, what I've been doing the last few years, and my main job is to train people. It's like, I freaking love it. I love showing people and teaching them, and maybe I missed my calling at the time, but I'm trying to find that. So you've been there for.
I was wondering what you train. What do you train others at?
I work for a major airline.
Okay.
And we train a lot of the ramp to ground crews that handle bags, take care of the airplane when it comes in, when it goes out. So it's very, very safety conscious, because anything bad that happens down below is not we don't want the plane to leave if it's not ready.
Yeah.
So
I can imagine now it's even more safety conscious with what we're going through now.
Airplanes are disinfected. Every arrival, every airplane in the country gets disinfected and cleaned out before any passengers get on there. In case anybody wants to fly and they're a little leery, airplane's pretty clean. Some of the people that get on, you have to have your mask on. You can't take it off at all. But generally, the air circulates. It's cleaned, so it's pretty good. So in English, I guess it doesn't matter. What's one of your fondest memories you've had?
Okay, well, after teaching 27 years, it's kind of hard to pick one, but I can say this. At Hannah, they have this tradition, the kids in their speech class, and they award a teacher the Golden Wings for a teacher that they feel made a difference in their life. And I've earned several Golden Wings awards, and they're always so special to me because I can tell you this. When you get recognition, I don't want to start getting emotional and start, but when you get recognition oh my God, I am going to get emotional. When you get recognition from your students,
okay.
it's worth so much more than any recognition you can get from, a superior. Or it's so beautiful when a child approaches you and gives you an award and says, you made a difference in my life. So I want to show you one of the Golden Wings that I got. Oh, I'm sorry. I've got my phone.
That's okay.
Okay, sorry. A little girl made me these Golden Wings. She actually made a T-shirt. She was very artistic, and she drew these wings.
Oh, wow.
And it says the healer, because she said she would come to me for advice, and and I would listen to her, and when I could, I would give her advice on various things, and she just said that that's why I deserve that award, the healer. And it's very special, like all the Golden Wings I've ever been given. But
wow, that's awesome. And you still have it there just like that.
yeah, well, yes, it doesn't fit me anymore, but I still have it there because it means a lot.
That is so cool.
Yes.
Wow. That's I wish I would have kept a lot of things that I had, even that stuff that my teacher gave me when I was a kid. And not a knock on my family or anything, but we didn't keep stuff. I don't know why. Stuff was kept for a few months, and then it would disappear, and I would grow up, and I don't know what happened to it, that kind of thing. So that's great. I hope you keep that forever, and definitely.
I am going to keep that forever. I want to frame it, possibly.
Yeah, definitely. Great memory. Great memory. That got me all like, wow, that's awesome. Well, we appreciate what you do. Again, like we tell everybody, thank you for choosing what you did. I'm sure you change. You may not realize it, but you probably do change and touch a lot of lives, and they will remember you.
Thank you, Mr. Manny. Thank you for inviting me on your show. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for being here, everyone. Oops, hang on a second. Let me get rid of this thing. We've got Lupita. Is that how they know you?
Yeah, my friends and family know me as Lupita. At school, of course, I'm Miss Shalou to the kids. I used to be Medina, Medina, and now I'm Shalou, Chalous.
Yeah, I'm sure they recognize you. Well, thank you for everything once again, and we'd love to have you back sometime in the future.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Have a great night. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year if we don't see you then.
You too. God bless.
Good night.
All righty. Oof, man, it got a little emotional there. That was awesome, though. Yeah, don't worry. I'm not about to cry on a live. I promise I won't. Just I got something in my eye. That's all. I just gotta get rid of that. Okay. All righty. Let's see. I'm gonna select Tony. Oh, I got you. You're muted. You're muted.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for coming on tonight. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
When we were doing the research and who to bring on and your name came up many times. Gotta ask. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. Doing progress reports.
Still working. Still working. Even though, so are you what do you do? What do you do?
I'm teaching resource math. I basically teach the Algebra 1 course to everybody because I teach special ed. So I teach 9th through 12th grade, and they're all mixed in together. I don't have just a freshman class or a sophomore class.
Okay.
So I kind of have to concentrate on the Algebra 1 teaks because they will test in the STAR. And I know last year none of my students tested, but the year prior I did have about 20 students test and about 7 of them passed. So I felt good about that.
So you said resource math?
Mm-hmm.
Explain that a little bit.
Okay, so I am not certified in math. I am certified as a special education teacher to teach easy through 12th grade. However, I was doing inclusion for Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and geometry for about 5 years before they decided to ask me if I'd be willing to take on the resource math class. And the reason why they asked me was because out of my 48 students, I think I had like about a 38% passing for my inclusion students, the students that I would provide services for in the algebra class. And so my principals asked me if I wanted to teach resource math. And of course, I had, I think, 3 classes of college algebra, so I was highly certified. So I said, okay. And I took on the challenge. I taught it for a couple of years, and then I stopped teaching it. A math person came in and actually taught it for a few years, and then he left. And when he left, they asked me to do it again. And so when I started about 2 years ago again, and in my first year, I did have students successfully pass the STAR exam. So that looked really good on me.
That's awesome. I was not good at math. You know, like algebra, geometry. Josh, were you any good at that stuff?
I was okay.
Just
I was
okay.
better at geometry because I like to play pool. So
The angles.
Yeah, you know, I failed algebra. I had to go to summer school. Then I passed it there. And I vowed I was never going to fail a class again. Next year, they gave me geometry. Failed that. Made me take it again, this time during regular school session. And I you know, I just couldn't get it. And then he told me once, he says, don't try to get it. He said, just learn how to do it, but don't try to understand it. And later in life, it'll come. So didn't do it. I couldn't do it. But I went to class every day. I never cut class. I was always there every single time. I even went to a second class. And I think I was going to fail, but he told me, you know what? You came every day. You didn't ditch. So I'm going to pass you, but just work on it. So I was grateful to him for that. And this was in Chicago, public school. I don't blame the school. I blame myself, but.
Math is not easy to learn. I was always good at it in elementary, and then from 7th grade to 8th grade, I went into the GT program, and they sent me from 7th grade math to algebra, and so I didn't do so good that year, and I actually had to step down and take the regular 8th grade math. But then when I got to high school, and mind you, my algebra 1 teacher in junior high ended up being my algebra teacher in high school.
No.
But when I got to high school, I just got really good at it. I had an A all through algebra 1. Geometry, I barely passed it, but it wasn't because I didn't know it. I think I started cutting school a lot. So I would only show up for tests, and so I was able to pass it. And then algebra 2, I would tutor actually the seniors because I was that good at it. But I mean, I never did anything like math. I never considered myself to be good at math. I just knew it.
Like solving these long equations, like in Good Will Hunting, you know, they write that complete chalkboard is complete with a equation.
Well, you know, when I was in college taking college algebra, that's the way I would sit there for 3 hours working out 3 problems. And it was like long. There's no calculator. Now our kids learn with calculators, and they have menu 3-1, menu 3-2, and all these different menus to solve those problems. But when I was in college, I was actually writing down everything. I would write like a whole half page with just one problem. And that was just like half of it. And then I would take the other half and do the other. But I took like an accounting class, and I don't know if maybe that helped me too. I don't know. I changed my major like 3 times before I decided on one major.
Yeah, well, I can see where accounting would kind of be in line with it's numbers, right?
Numbers.
Like a giant calculator. So how long have you been teaching?
I've been teaching for 17 years. And I did start prior to when I count the 17 years. I started off as a para at Lucio Middle School in 1998, I think. And then I left to college, and then I came back and I taught. I came back to Lucio for another couple of years before I quit to finish college, and then I started at a charter school, but I didn't go to school to be a teacher. I went to school to study
What was
law.
your first choice?
Actually, I changed it 3 times. It was psychology, then it was accounting, psychology, and then I ended up with just criminal justice. I've always liked the law enforcement field. I actually left to the military very briefly because I wanted to be a CIA agent.
Oh, nice.
And they actually started the background check and everything, but I just, for some reason or another, I just didn't make the cut, and I came back home. And I finished my degree in criminal justice, and I thought I was going to go into criminal justice, and I didn't. I started working at a charter school, and it was called Eagle Academy, and now it's Premier Academy, I think. I don't know if they've changed the name since.
Is that over on Paredes,
Paredes.
Price?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The little traffic area there.
Yeah.
Well, when I started with them, we were a little bit further down Paredes, but then we moved over there the second year that I was there. And I started off as testing coordinator because I did not want to teach kids. I did not want to have anything to do really with kids because I had already been in the junior high setting, and I as much as I liked my job, I just didn't think that was what I wanted to do. And so after the first year, I did only testing coordinator, which I usually just managed the testing. I didn't really have a lot of interactions with the students. And then the second year, they needed me to teach and be the testing coordinator. And so I took on the challenge, and I said, okay. And I was there for 2 years. And on my last year, I was in charge of the seniors. And I think what really did it for me, that I felt this was my calling, it was the fact that I was in charge of the seniors. So I was in charge of the whole senior ceremony type thing. Mm. And I chose the theme, "Oh, the Places You Will Go" by Dr. Seuss. Oh, yeah. And I did it because most of the kids that go to the charter schools are the ones that, they just can't make it at the regular public school because of absences or, just the fact that they're probably a little bit smarter but can't really handle that everyday same thing over and over again type of thing. So I kind of let them be themselves and be the free spirits or whatever. So at the end of it all, it was my last year there, and I graduated my seniors, all my 25 seniors. And when they called us all to the stage where they called us by name for all the teachers, I remember all the students stood up for me and gave me a standing ovation, and they clapped for me. And I was just like, I was really taken aback because I didn't think I had been such an influence to them like that. But when you're at a small school and you're the only one that they all stand up and clap for, it just makes you feel like, this is so. And before they left, they bought me a cake, and they wrote this big old scripture on it about, how they loved me. And they all wrote me little note cards with a little message from every single one of them. And I still have that in an album somewhere. So, wow. That's when I decided that I wanted to teach. And after that, I went to an elementary. I went to Aiken Elementary. I was there for 1 year. And the little kids are okay, but that's not my cup of tea. And since I was the last one in, I was the first one out the following year, and they sent me to Lopez High School. And, hearing the stories, I went to Hannah High School. And hearing the stories, I was like, whoa, I didn't know what I was going to expect. But I've been there for 13 years. And there's nowhere else I'd rather be but at Lopez High School. I think I don't know, I fell in love with the population. They really do trust you sometimes, and they really do depend on you. And I don't know, it's just, I don't know, it
just felt right.
Yes, and I hold all my students as if they're mine, like my children. And I advocate for them greatly. Sometimes I think teachers don't like me because, I like to follow their IEPs to the T. And when there's a teacher that, refuses to do so, there I am sending emails, calling, and it's just, I don't do it to be mean, and I think I come off as aggressive sometimes. I think I just do it because our students don't have a voice. They are in special ed for a reason. Either they're intellectually disabled, or they have other things that are wrong with them, and it's hard as a teacher and also of a parent who has, my son is in special ed, but he is more like under the spectrum. He's very intelligent, but he doesn't do like the eye contact, and he's very he keeps to himself and stuff. And I know how it is for him sometimes, that he can't speak to somebody, or he can't just openly, freely talk. So I know that my students also have that. And when I see them, they're like not doing any of the work, not just sitting there, not doing anything, I approach them independently and I ask them, like, you need my help? And some of them will nod. Some of them don't talk, and I'll be like, okay. And I show them, and they get to work after that.
Oh, okay. So because they can't always, or don't know how to communicate it to you that they need help or something.
Yes. And being in this profession, you kind of have to always be vigilant to what the kids are doing, even as as a teenagers, because it's some of them are just they don't know how to express themselves. They don't know how to speak out for themselves. They don't know when to say, hey, I don't know how to do this, can you help me? And so as a teacher, I feel like that's what we all need to look out for. We all need to look out for those kids who are not doing the work. It's not because they don't want to. It's not because they want to be little jerks. It's just because sometimes they really just don't understand the material.
Right. Gotcha. I know you mentioned the ceremony that you had, but since being at Lopez, you got a most memorable moment?
I think at Lopez, my most memorable moments are my seniors when they graduate. And I had a senior 2 years ago. She invited me to her dinner. She was in the law enforcement program, and she wanted me to go as one of her special people. And I just felt like, because I've been there for 13 years already. And out of all those years, I think she's the first one who's actually invited me to something that was special to her, that meant a lot to her. And she graduated, and she's in college, and I'm very proud of her. So I think that was one of my most memorable moments at Lopez High School.
Well, that is amazing. It's an awesome math story. Could never get into math. I hated it at school, like I said. I mean, I learned it eventually. You got to learn how to your hours when you work somewhere, or I worked real estate for a little while, so you had to learn that basic kind of stuff, figure out your commission or percentages, that kind of stuff. But aside from that, don't even ask me to equation of any kind. Tony, I do appreciate you. We appreciate you, everything you do. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Tony Lopez, everyone. Lopez High School, incidentally.
Yes.
Thank you, Tony, again.
Thank you.
Good night.
Oh, sorry, Josh. I gotta remember to let you say good night before I cut him off.
Oh, it's okay, man.
I hated math. I freaking hated math.
I didn't hate it. It just wasn't my favorite subject.
Oh, I hated it. I just couldn't. I tried and I tried. It just wasn't for me. So
was algebra the only book to ever make you cry?
Algebra was, yeah.
I can tell.
All right, moving along here. Let's choose Lorena. You're muted there. Don't forget. There you go. Hi, how are you? Good evening.
Good, how are you?
Thanks for being here. I know it's kind of short notice today, all this, but I'm glad you were able to make it. How are you doing?
Great, actually. I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, I know I should have asked more people. I know everybody's ecstatic to be out for a couple of weeks. Maybe wishing it was more, but you'll take the 2 weeks. Yeah.
I'll take whatever I can get.
So what do you do? What do you teach?
I don't know if you can see in the background, I am a choir director.
Choir.
Yes.
Music. It's not music though. It's choir, right? It's different.
Well, technically, it's both. You have to have a degree in music education and then specialize either in band, choir, whatever instrument you're going to specialize in.
And so are you a singer, or how did that happen in your
Um,
life?
in my life, I've been singing since I was like, I don't know, like 7. But I knew I wanted to be a teacher since I was very little. I just didn't know what kind of teacher. I just knew I wanted to be a teacher. My parents didn't want me to be a teacher because my whole mom's family, and I'm from Mexico, I'm not from here. So my whole mom's family was all educators. And she's like, oh, no, something better. And so I just kind of stuck to my guns. After when I got to high school, I came to high school. I attended high school here. From Mexico, I came straight to high school. There was no like elementary, middle school. They saw my grades and they're like, you go to high school. And I was a 13-year-old in high school.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I was like, that's great. But like, I'm 13. So it was a little interesting. It wasn't until after, and it's going to sound really bad. It was until after my mom died. I was put in choir. And I absolutely enjoyed my class, my choir class, and not because my teacher was the best teacher out there. He was an amazing gentleman, but it was his passion to teach us and his passion with us as students, and that to me is like I went to Pace High School. So when I went to Pace High School, it was rough. It was really, really rough. And so to have a person that can make that kind of difference in like my life was a big deal. So I decided I want to do music. But I went to the School of Music and I told them I want to be a music teacher. And they asked me if I knew how to read music. And I told them, nope, you're gonna teach me how to read music and how to be a music teacher, like from scratch. And they did.
So see, I don't know how this works. Can anybody join a choir, or do you pick people and go, yeah, he can sing, yeah, she can sing, he can sing?
No, anybody can join choir, especially I don't have
whether they can sing or not sing, or that's got nothing to do with it.
Well, that's my job. My job is to teach you how to sing. You don't have to come in knowing how to sing. My job is to teach you how to sing. That is my job.
I wonder how you would teach me, because I can't sing at all. I mean, the voice talking is one thing, but singing.
I have actually taught 3 kids that were, they couldn't match pitch to save their lives. And I've taught them. And one of them is actually a theater major in a university up in Washington State, where I taught for a couple of years.
Oh, wow.
And she is, she's singing and doing lead roles. And so she can sing now.
And where do you teach at?
I teach at Vestedo Middle School.
Vestedo, okay.
Yes.
And wow, some music is different. I was trying to get somebody else on who's a band teacher, but I can't get a hold of her just yet. So yeah, I know. Yeah, I can't sing. I've tried, and sometimes I think I can sing, like when I got my headphones on and I'm just feeling the music and I think I can sing the blues and stuff. No, I can't. So I won't even try. So how has this situation with COVID treated your particular style?
I'm not gonna lie, it has been rough because we are used to in person, and I'm a very hands-on teacher. So this has been very difficult, and especially singing. I had to teach kids how to do recordings. And a lot of times they're not comfortable seeing themselves. Like when we come on camera, we're like, oh my gosh, my hair look okay, everything. Kids are worse. Kids are like, are we gonna see me? Like, who's gonna see me? Like, do I have to show my face? So they're very self-conscious about it. So that's a big
just so you
problem.
know, we've had some of these issues with some of these people that we just had on here today. I'm not going to say who, but we've had some hair issues. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hold on, it wasn't me. Let me just fix it. No, but yeah, the kids, it's a little harder for them to do that. But one of the things that I with my students, we're a unit. We're a family. And one of the things that especially where I teach at and where we come from, it's important for me to be present, to be real. That's the word. When I came to Vestedo, there was no choir program. There was a small choir program. Like they had in the whole school, they only had about like 75 kids. So when I came in, my job was to resuscitate a program and make it bigger. Or, before they decided, you know what, it's not working out, we might cut the program or move it somewhere else. So I came in, and I think I talked to you, I was telling you earlier, I got hired for Vestedo. In September, I started October 1st. And my students, this is one of my favorite things, my students waited for me until I got here. They didn't drop the class. They waited for me until I got here without even knowing me, without even knowing who I was. This is how hungry they were for music, for choir.
Wow, yeah.
And when I got here, I had a week before the concert, and the kids were like, "Are we going to be in the concert?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know, you don't know any music. Can you teach us in a week?" And I'm like, "Can you learn in a week?" And so there were 66 graders, and they learn two songs in a week by memory, and they appear in their concert.
Oh, wow.
So, and that baby program,
awesome. Yeah,
that baby program went from 75 to today's about 140.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
Yeah. A lot of them, they love, like I said, we're a unit, we're a family. A lot of them, I still see them. Some of them are already in college. Some of them come every time I have a concert, they'll come, and they're my tear down crew. They help out passing programs, helping me clean everything up and set up. So we really have done something special there at Vestedo. That's not where I started teaching, but that's where I call home now.
Yeah. That's awesome when they still want to be involved.
Yes, very
right?
much.
And so when you do this virtually, I know a few months ago when all this started, I saw I can't remember. I want to say Mercedes or somewhere up there. It was a mariachis that were doing. They played a whole song together, even though everybody was at their house, all over the neighborhood or the city. And I found that so freaking cool. Now, do you do the same thing like that? Do you have a?
Unfortunately, we don't, and I'm going to tell you why. Our campus is farther out in Southmost, so a lot of my students are actually in person. They're not online. The ones who were online, there's no internet access in that side of town. I don't know if you've ever been around that town. I have kids logging into my class at least 7 times, in, out, in, out, in, out, because there's no internet service. There's buses around. They have hotspots. So our situation is a little more precarious than maybe Mercedes is, or, even Brownsville, like, let's just go to Lucio, or let's just go to another campus. Like, our situation is a little worse because we're out there. I mean, we're by the border.
Yeah.
My phone, when I go into the choir room, it says, "Welcome to Mexico."
Yep. I've had that happen. Yeah.
So it's been difficult. I do get every now and then I get a couple of recordings, but not enough to do a choir, a virtual choir, and
Nelly says that you performed Unchained Melody.
When was that? That was a long time ago. Now my kids do like a lot of in the spring we do a lot of pop, and they do a lot. Oh, they're talking about mariachi.
Oh, the mariachi, yeah.
Yeah, no, they do like doing a lot of the pop stuff in the spring. And one spring, I remember they did the "This Is Me," the musical from The Greatest Showman, and they actually did a flash mob at the pep rally, at one of the pep rallies. Yeah, so it was neat. It was really neat.
That's awesome. So of all your teaching moments and teaching kids to sing, anybody stand out? Any one student or a situation that stands out? Something that you remember that you'll always carry with you? Some nice feel
It's
good
hard for me to
moment.
say. It's hard for me to say many different moments. But one of the ones that I can think of right at the top of my head, I started teaching at Stillman Middle School many years ago, and I had a 6th grader, and he was a great little kid. He was a little short guy, had a beautiful voice, and I moved schools, states, whatever, and I came back to Brownsville, and we were friends on Facebook or whatnot. He was already an adult. I still call him a kid, but he's in his 20s. And he's like, I wanted to share with you that I'm singing opera in Europe.
Really?
And I was like, little boy that, used to walk with rhythm, like this little boy. And he's like, I am in Romania, and I have like this was about a year or two ago. I'm in Romania, and I got my first shot to sing opera in Europe.
Oh, wow.
And for him to remember to tell me, his 6th grade teacher a long time ago, that it was very special. I'm not gonna lie. I was just kind of like, I'm not gonna cry because I'm a tough person. I don't cry, sir. I don't. Not in front of the kids, anyways. But that was a really good one. But I have a lot of those tender moments at the Stato. A lot. I wish I could share a lot of them with you, but I can. Some of them are very difficult and very hard. But we've been there for each other, and that's what counts.
That's awesome. That's so great to hear. Again, I can't not notice the level of enthusiasm every time we're talking about the kids and the teaching and stuff. Everybody gets big old smile on their face, and I think that's just awesome. That's the way it should be.
They're like my children.
Yeah, and that's what everybody says too, and that's awesome. Lorena, thank you for coming by tonight and sharing some of your career of teaching with us. And sometime in the future, we'd like to have you back when we do a different event. But I appreciate it. Thank you very much for what you do.
Thank you.
Josh?
Good night.
Okay, there you go. There we go. Yeah, I can't sing. Can you sing at all? Do you sing in a choir or anything like
I've been known to have a rock star event in the shower a time or two.
In the shower? Oh, yeah. I've done that.
Yeah.
Air guitar even. I don't play guitar, but I can play air guitar really good. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to go on to the next person here. We do appreciate you all. Thanks for hanging out here with us. Got a few more to go. I do appreciate it. Tanya. Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Can hear you now.
What's up if you can hear me?
How are you tonight? How are you doing tonight?
I'm very good. How are you?
Good. Glad you could be here for this very, I don't know, I'd like it to call it a special moment. I just thought it was a good time when you guys are on break now, like today, literally from today. I believe everybody, right? Everybody or most everybody? Well, I'll say most everybody because I've heard a few things. But tell us what you do.
Kinder teacher at Canales Elementary. I work with Maggie, Suri.
Oh, okay.
I'm part of the teachers that moved from Longoria because they closed our schools to her.
Oh, yes.
But now we're like working at Canales. We love Canales.
And how long have you been doing that?
I've been at it for 15 years. I'm a quinceañera.
Oh, wow.
I'm a quinceañera. So I was at Longoria for 13, and then this is my second year at Canales.
You know, no matter who I ask in my travels and just in daily life, anytime I come across a teacher, how long have you been doing that? And I never hear like, oh, a couple of years. Everybody's been doing it 15, 20 years, 25 years. And I'm assuming you love what you do.
Yes, a lot, because I teach kinder. So like they say, like they're very.
What age is that?
It's 5. They turn 6 in kinder. They're very real. Like whatever, like you have, like if you have something in your teeth, they will go and say, hey, you have something in your teeth. They don't sugarcoat, but they're adorable.
They got no filters at that age.
No, they're awesome.
So what made you want to teach? How did you get into it?
Mainly my children. Like I have two sons. I graduated when I was already a mom, and I always say that I was blessed to be a mom and then a teacher, because all my students in my class are my Alexes and my Rafas. So like in every child, I see mine, and I would treat your child like I would like for you to treat mine. So I think it was my kids. I do come from a family of teachers as well. So that also like played a role. Like I was going to school. I graduated with a bachelor's in Spanish and minor in translation, but I knew I wanted to be a teacher.
You just wanted to teach. Any chance that you do any of the other stuff? Yeah, I know you said you were a translator or a minor in translation. Is that what you said?
Yes, and I love it. And at one point I said, well, if I ever get tired of teaching, here I am 15 years later, I can go into translation or interpreting or something like that. I love the language. I learned English in my 20s. I was like 24 when I started college. I didn't know any English before because I graduated high school in Matamoros. So I started like when I was already a mom, and then I finished with my second son already.
Oh, okay. And so I'm imagining, just like everyone else, you treat the children like if they're your own every time you
my
come into
kids.
the classroom.
Yes, I love my kids. And every time I would go to the dollar store and I would say, I'm gonna buy something for my kids, and my children would say, your kids or us? They will always say that.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, the question of COVID comes up, and I'm not going to get deep into that whole situation. I promise I was not going to do anything negative on this show, but I mean, it's got to be tough. Some of you guys are putting out your own money from your own pocket for supplies or for things like that. Or how has COVID treated you in your class?
It's very challenging. It's very challenging. You see it behind me. I'm in my house, and it looks like if I'm in my classroom because I have a full classroom in my house, and then I have my classroom, and I used to carry like a little cart around, going and coming back. As I said, if there's a lot of cases, they're gonna close my school, and I need to teach the next day because it was never an option. Like if they close the school, I'm just gonna stop teaching. So I have a monitor here, my own computer here. I brought a CPU just in case, wireless mouse, like everything. Like we've been like everybody has said, like working a lot of hours, and it's a challenge, but like it's also something that we have to learn, because even though like if we ever go back to the classroom, I really can see my children work on iPads already, and like in technology is part of our life more than ever. So we need to get used to use technology to have a good connection, and to learn. Like my grandparents are learning, so you have to teach the kids, but since I teach kinder, then you have to teach the parents, and then sometimes they stay with the grandparents, and we all need to get on the wagon, because I mean this is just gonna continue. Even if we go back, like I said, I mean our children need to know technology.
Right. And I don't know. I just have a feeling that this is not going to get better sooner, and it's going to pretty much stay the same for, unfortunately, for most of 21. At least I think it is. It's not just going to go away magically.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have any fond memories? Something that sticks out in your head of something that happened in your teaching career?
More than anything this year, because I have a funny story. I'm wearing a Christmas shirt. So all these 2 weeks we did activities. So I had this one child that would like turn on her camera and look at everybody, and she would see what everybody was wearing that day. She would turn off the camera, leave, change, and then come back. Like she would instead of reading the papers or telling mom that I have to dress like this or like that, she would just look at everybody and then go and then change, because she's at home. No, she can do that. Another one is that I motivate the kids. Like if you log in, I'm gonna give you a coin. There's some like digital coins that I give them, and then if you have 25 coins, you change it for a book. I have a lot of books in my classroom.
Oh, cool.
So like you have 25 coins, you get a book, and I did a whole thing, and I like have a party on the computer. So they're fixing the roof in my classroom, and all of a sudden everybody walks in, because apparently it's not in good shape. So I might have to get out of the room, like right there. And I was teaching live. So I was trying to tell the kids, and I, you know what, if I disconnect, don't worry about it. And I explained to them in a hurry what we're gonna do. And then the principal walks in, and the construction people walk in, and then I go like, okay, I gotta go, because they were gonna go on a drive-by, and I was gonna give them the books, right? So they all like motivated and everything. I had like 6 that had gotten a book that day. So everybody walks in. I'm about to turn on the computer, and then one of my little kids shouts, Miss Carrion, Miss Carrion. And I was like, what happened? Don't forget take my book.
Oh no. That's hilarious.
Yeah, because like, he was so worried about his book.
Like he says, even my life school babies are getting so good at technology. Yeah, so that's had to be a challenge also. I mean, do you have enough equipment to go around?
We are blessed at our campus because our principal, like before everything started, all our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade kids had like a laptop. And then there was a grant that 2nd grade students had like an iPad. And then she started ordering, because we started saying, you know what, we want at least 4 iPads for center and kinder. And then 1st grade teachers started asking for iPads. So she started like preparing, and she had like enough iPads, I think, for another grade level. So when everything hit and the district just gave us a little bit to order, she had already covered from 2nd through 5th.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And we're very blessed. We have Maggie, she's our librarian. She takes care of fixed assets and all that. So we had enough hotspots to offer. So our kids had what they needed. Of course, we have issues with the hotspots because they have to update, or they're just slow, or they're like running on something, or like the iPads, they had to change them and everything. But we're very blessed our campus because they did have like what they needed in hotspots and iPads. So like we're very, very thankful for that.
Well, that's great. That's awesome. I thank you again for being here. Thank you for being a teacher. And we do appreciate it. You may not hear it enough. Again, to all you guys, we may not hear it enough, but we do appreciate you very, very much. You guys work so hard.
Thank you for doing this. Thank you very much for doing this.
And I know some of you are still working right now, or you're waiting to get on, or while you're just hanging around. Everybody's still working, even though they've been dismissed for a couple of.
Yes, we keep going at it. Like I have my iPad under my desk. So,
nice. Thank you so much, Tanya.
Anytime.
Thank you, Miss Tanya. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you both. Nice seeing you.
Nice to see you. All righty. I don't know how we did it without iPads back when I was a kid, or even we had some electronic games, but there was nothing real advanced. I can't even imagine living life without iPhone, iPad, TV, sometimes even like cable or 1,000 channels.
You did.
Huh?
But you did.
I know. It wasn't easy.
Tell us how you really feel, Manny.
I had to walk to school in the wintertime in the snow on my bare feet. I know. I had those moments too.
Uphill both ways.
And I liked it. Yeah. All righty. Let's bring on Miss Lonnie Smith.
Hi there.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you this evening?
Oh, not bad. Having some fun here. I'm glad you guys can all make it tonight.
Me too.
A little bit behind, but not too bad. So tell us about you. What do you do?
I'm a lot different from your other guests so far because I'm the retired one.
Oh, retired. So you've been there and done it all.
I just retired after 36 years of teaching. And I'm here 27 years, and I'm like, oh, they're still babies. But 36 years. I wanted to go one more year before retirement, but with everything that was going on with the district and making one decision, then changing their mind, and they were going to do something different, I couldn't take that kind of stress and pressure. And so I decided in July to retire. Unfortunately, I was able to because I had enough years with TRS and everything. So yeah, I'm enjoying retirement.
I bet you are. What was your role? What did you teach?
Oh, I did so many different things. I've done elementary. I was at Garza. Then I went to Morningside. Then I was at Southmost. Then I went to Gonzales. And then after that, for 4 years, I was a science and math mentor teacher through a National Science Foundation grant. And then after that was over, I was at Cromac for a few years. And then after that, Mr. Cantu changed from Cromac to Garcia Middle School and asked me to join him. So the last 13 years, I taught middle school math.
Oh, math, another math.
Yeah, okay. I heard you talking about math and how it wasn't that fun for you. You know, one of the main things my kids will tell me at the end of the year is that I can make math fun. I tell them at the very first day, you know, I ask how many people don't like math. There's so many of them that raise their hands because they don't have the foundation and they find math difficult. I said, you know what? I'm not here to make you love math. I'm here to at least make you hate it less.
Hate it less. That's interesting.
That's an improvement.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, the one thing I do remember was my teacher telling me, don't try to understand it. Just learn how to do it, and it'll come to you later.
I quite agree with that. It's like they have to know the foundation and the background and the number sense behind it. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense for them. And then it just gets harder and harder every year when they try to build on all those skills and they don't know how to do the basic skills.
So you're retired. So you're in a place where a lot of people would love to be right now. And I guess COVID made that decision a lot easier for you, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And I'm hearing that there are a lot of teachers that I guess as of today are retired. They're retiring at semester. From Garcia, I know of 3 special ed teachers and a history teacher. So that's 4 just from that campus. And I know another one who will retire at the end of the year. So that's 5. And I left at the beginning. So within 1 year time, that's 6 teachers that Garcia is losing due to retirement.
Yeah, that's got to be, it's just a tough situation with this. So let me fast forward a little bit and get to 36 years. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Pick one moment you remember that'll always stand out in your head.
I think it was the year when I was at Garcia when I moved from 6th grade to 7th grade math. And a lot of the kids followed me. So they had me for 2 years in a row. And so that was a very special group. Remember one, I had him in 6th and 7th. And then a couple of years later, I had his younger brother, but he was very athletic in football and basketball. And because of his curly hair, everyone called him Popcorn. And as of right now, he's in the military. And about 2 years ago, on our last day for Christmas break, he came in with his mom and gave me a big old hug, asked me how I was doing. And yeah, they can still come back. And
that's got to feel good.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Well, I want to talk about some other stuff, but we're going to save that for a little bit later. Just a little bit later. So I want to put you backstage. You got time to hang out?
Sure.
Okay, great. Excellent. Don't go away. All right. I want to talk to somebody that some people I think they know her. Hey, I didn't forget about you.
It's okay. I'm here.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm ready to start my break.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people. There was a collective herd outside today, just after 12 o'clock.
Yes,
and
sir.
I can imagine it's a much needed break. What's going on with you? Are you working still right now?
I mean, I was waiting here, but I do have some arts and paperwork to finish and stuff. So the fun continues.
So it's a break, but it's not really a break. It's just
it's more time to be able to do the paperwork you can't do during the day.
Yeah.
And plan for when we come back.
So you are, aside from being the AOB president, as it says there, you are a teacher.
Oh, I forgot to change that. Sorry. I am a special education resource math teacher.
Here's that word again. Math.
Yes. I am a resource math teacher for elementary. I work at Ituria Elementary. This is my, hi, Sudi. This is, I'm going on my 14th year with the district. I did not originally set out to be a teacher. I did not like school when I was in school as a student. I was something else. And
when did you know? When's the first time you realized that you didn't like it? Do you
that I
remember?
didn't like school? Ugh.
Yeah.
Like the first day, I think I slept through kinder. Like, I mean, I was like, my mom would have to come pick me up and take me. Like, it was just, I just didn't like it. So I think I'm self-diagnosing myself. I think I had problems with reading. Aside from the fact that I just didn't like it, but like I struggled to like comprehend stuff and all of that. So I just didn't like school. I had amazing teachers. It wasn't the teachers. It was just, me. I just wasn't for, like, I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
When I graduated, I did not want to go to college. I was like, I'm not going to go to college. I wanted to join the military and be a K-9 officer. But my parents wouldn't sign. I graduated at 17. And so I couldn't leave without a signature from a parent. And they told me I had to go to school. So I ended up going to college. I didn't like college, didn't do well in it the first couple years. Got out of school and then ended up getting my cosmetology license. So I am a licensed cosmetologist. I did that for a few years. I had my son when I was 21, my older son when I was 21. And what kind of inspired me to go back to school and to make my major education was when I put my son in Montessori school. And he had a really amazing teacher. And I had amazing teachers along the way. Miss Catherine Canning, I don't know if she watches your show or not, but she was awesome with me and helping me with my comprehension and to get to want to read a novel and different things like that. But my son, when I put him in Montessori school, his teacher, Miss Reyes, she was just so amazing. And so I went back to school, graduated with my degree. During my last couple of years of college, finishing my degree, I became a substitute with BISD. And then my last substituting job was at Ituria Elementary. And Dr. Gallegos was our principal and the principal there. And I substituted for the last, I believe it was like 6 to 8 weeks for a third grade class. And I didn't notice, but apparently she had been kind of like peeking in through the window and watching me and whatever, because I was doing a long-term subbing position. And I'm a very, I don't know what the word to use is, but I'm a very structured person. And I know and understand that in a classroom, there needs to be structure and behavior needs to be under control for the kids to be able to learn, right? And so I kind of moved the desks around and did different things to get the kids to, kind of calm. It was a kind of a hyper class, right? And so, I knew the kids that were really smart in GT, and I would sit them next to a student that was struggling. So when they were done with their work, they were assigned somebody to help and just different things like that to kind of control behavior, right? So that year finished, and in the summer, I get a call that there's openings at the school if I want to apply as a paraprofessional because I was still finishing my degree. So I went to apply to be a paraprofessional for a pre-K position for a pre-K para. So when I get there, Dr. Gallegos is interviewing me along with her assistant principal and her principal and her dean. And she's like, Miss Borrego, are you're the one that substituted for Miss Carnisi, right? And I'm like, yes, ma'am. And I was like, oh God, she remembers me. Is that good or bad, right? And she said, I see here that you're applying for a pre-K position, but we have an opening in the BI unit for a paraprofessional. And I was like, okay. And I said, well, what is a BI unit? And she said, well, it's a unit for with special needs kids that have issues like emotional issues or autism, or they're just kind of like mixed. And I said, well, I mean, if I get trained for it, I'm sure I could do it. I'm sure that I could do it. She said, I just saw the structure in the classroom when you were there, so like I think you'd be great in it. I'm like, okay. So I took the position. I have been at Ituria for almost 14 years. My first about 7 years were in the behavior intervention unit. I was a paraprofessional there for about 4 years. I got hired. So the majority of my years have been at Ituria. I got hired in December at Vermilion to be a BI teacher. And then the following August, I came back to Ituria to the unit where I was a paraprofessional and became the teacher for the unit. And then I've been there ever since. I was a BI teacher for about 6 years, I think. I'm not sure how many years it was. And then I became a resource teacher. So I've been in a resource position for about 5 years, I think it is.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you went from hating it to deep involved in the education system.
Yeah, like big time. When I graduated, I did not graduate with a special education degree, but it became a passion for me. I loved seeing, because we worked with students who had there's Molly. Because we worked with students who had like emotional issues or were autistic. To see in the units, we get them from little and they stay with us over the years, right? So they kind of grow with us. To see them grow in their behavior, and to see them be able to control themselves and be able to now become a student who can go and into the general education setting and with very little help, to hear how many students I've had that have exited the program that are now, in college. And I was able to see, teachers usually only have their students for the year that they have them, and then they move to the next grade. I was able to have them for 4, 5, 6 years, depending of what year I got them when they were qualifying. So it was so nice to see that I took part in making a positive change for them and making it to where they were able to function well in a general ed classroom and succeed.
And it must be nice to watch them grow. I mean, for so many years.
Yeah, it's great. And when you see them and they're older and I'm super short, right? So they're like, I feel like they're 10 feet taller than me and I have to be looking up at them. And they remember you and they thank you for, I'm hard on my kids. I'm very strict. I have very high expectations for my students, just like I do for my kids, my own 2 children. But the program is set up to where the structure and the system, the way it is for them to be rewarded for behavior and then wean them off of that kind of stuff and then be able to do it just to do it is amazing. And I was able to see it happen and it work. So it was awesome.
Wow. So you've been there quite a bit. What, same question I asked everybody else. You have a fond memory of one particular event, something during your career, something that really stands out as
So I have a funny moment. Let me give you a funny moment and then I will give you a fond moment.
Okay.
My funny moment. When I was originally hired, like I said, I was applying for a pre-K position, but got hired for the BI unit, right? And so I'm a product of a private school. I graduated from private school. So I was a little bit green with public school and coming into what exactly it was, right? So I come into the first week of school, which is the teacher preparation week, right? And they're talking about, at the time when I started, we used to have colors, like coding of colors. And like code red would tell you that there was like somebody had a weapon on campus or like different things like that.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know what happened. My screen like turned off. Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I'm sitting down and I'm sitting next to Miss Trudy Estevez at the time. And she was new also to the campus. We were both new. So we kind of sat together because we didn't know anybody. And so they're talking about all these things, and they're talking about how code red is because, a student has a weapon on campus, or, there's danger, whatever. And I turned and I looked at her and I said, does that really happen? Does that really happen? Like, is that? And she's like, yeah, especially when you have a BI unit. And I thought, holy cow, what did I get myself into?
Oh, no.
Like, so you're telling me that a code red is going to happen in the classroom that I'm going to be working in? And she was like, wait, oh, sorry. And I'm like, oh my God. So I started to like panic, right? I was like sweating, and you'll be okay. You'll be okay. And the first couple of years was hard. You have to get used to, the behaviors are sometimes really tough to get used to. I did work with a really great teacher, Miss Karen Brees, and I learned a lot from her. So it was an eye-opening experience. It was tough, but I fell in love with my kids. And so I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I can't see myself doing anything else. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Working with these kids, I'm supposed to be helping them be successful, productive members of society. And this is the only way I can do it. So I fell in love with it. I like I said, it wasn't my major. Special ed was not my major. Yeah. But I went back and challenged the special ed test, and passed it. I challenged my bilingual test and passed it. So I was able to get a job as a BI teacher.
That's awesome. And again, as I bring everybody back here, I'm getting... And
one fun fact. Laura Dominguez is my work wife. She's my work
wife. Underneath you right there. There you go.
Yeah, that's my work wife right there. We were chess sponsors for many years together. So we literally got to work before 7 and left work probably around after 6. So we spend more time with each other than we did with our spouses.
It's true. Like, I wasn't joking. We really...
And on Saturday.
Like, you see her more than you see me.
It's true.
And I've been talking to some of you throughout the day, and I can just tell, especially now that let's see if I can get a couple more on here. Bring Maggie back. The level of I don't know if dedication is a big enough of a word.
It's passion.
Yeah, maybe passion is the one, because you guys talk about it and your eyes light up and you smile and you're just, it's obvious you guys love what you do. I got somebody who wants to say hi here, by the way.
Hi.
Thank you for everything you do, and you do.
Hi.
No, I want to say thank you for each one of y'all, what you guys do. I mean, I heard your stories, and every day I am very blessed to work with such wonderful people that go above and beyond for their students. I mean, you guys are amazing, and I don't know how you all do it. You guys have been working under, tough situations, but my gosh, you guys don't give up. So we're going to continue to be here for you all. And, God bless y'all, man. Y'all are amazing people, each one of you.
Yeah. The level of, I don't know. I'm going to talk to somebody after when we're done with this, and I'm going to tell them the same thing I just said. Talking to them, and their faces light up, they smile. Some of you get very emotional telling certain stories, and I think that's just fascinating. And I'm glad that there are people like you teaching young people and handling young people, or just being there for them. I think it's awesome. Again, I don't think you guys get enough appreciation from the district, even from some parents. Actually, it's not just the district. I think a lot of people don't appreciate the crap you guys go through.
Yeah.
Yet you wouldn't change a thing. Just amazing. I appreciate you guys all. Thank you all for being here tonight. I did want to get a little deeper into some other of the problems, but I think I'm going to skip on that for right now. There'll be there'll be a time for another show to do something like that. But thank you all for coming tonight, for joining us in this Teacher Appreciation Friday. And I want to plan some more stuff like that. Anybody, you want to say anything or say goodbye or say hello or shout out or whatever? Shout out.
I do want to say just a little bit more, and that I hope y'all realize that the difference y'all are making in so many people's lives. You know, you guys have a lot of obstacles that y'all are overcoming right now, but so are the students that you have. And you guys are continue to change lives, but so much more this year. So I thank you guys again. I just cannot say enough how amazing you guys are. And y'all, I really hope you take some time during these weeks to spoil yourselves in one way or another, be it turn off your phone, binge some type of movie series or something, you know, to take care of you, because I know that's what I plan to do. So,
we need to watch Selena.
That's right. So, you know, I wish you guys the best, and continue to encourage one another. You know, our colleagues are struggling out there and stuff. So, you know, let's continue to you know, reach out to them and help pull them and push them, even if we have to, forward, because we're going to get through this year. Okay. And the next one and the one after that, guys. So, you know, I wish you all a wonderful holiday break. Okay.
Likewise.
Yes, very well deserved. Once again, thank you all. Have a great night. Have a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and I hope you guys can get some me time, some you time to just, I don't know, are you able to disconnect that phone or turn it off for like 6 hours even?
No.
Tony's like, I don't think so.
You know, I woke up at 2:00 in the morning, and the first thing I thought about was a student who asked me for help yesterday. And I felt so awful because I was like, oh my God, I forgot. But luckily he did the assignment, and it was just for extra credit. But, you know, it's things like that. You know, I've woken up at all hours of the night and I think about a student, I can't go back to sleep. It's just it's crazy.
I was telling a friend today.
That's what I do with you all.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Maggie.
I was telling a friend today that I love Facebook memories because every once in a while, like, I'll get a pop-up. Like 2 years ago, it's me at my library, like the first Monday of vacation. And I'll have a quote like, what is this vacation you all speak of? Because I think this is going to be the first year I am not going to be in my library during the vacation. And that's mostly because they're renovating our library. So we had to clean it all out. So there is nothing in my library right now.
Otherwise, you would be in there, wouldn't you?
Otherwise, I would probably be there Monday morning getting some stuff done. Yes.
Way to vacation.
Yeah. That's
It's very hard. Yeah,
that's
it's
educators. Summer, yeah. I see some Facebook post memories. There was one recently came up, and it's that. Actually, no, it wasn't recently. It was that. It was during the summer, and it's me sitting next to my mother. My mom's knitting, and I'm cutting, laminating stuff that I needed to get done during the summer. And it was like $50. I posted on there. It was like $50 worth of laminating that I had paid out of pocket, but I didn't mind because I finally got my letters laminated.
So without going too deep into stuff, do you guys get reimbursed for any of your expenses like that?
Don't go there.
No, but you do it without even thinking about it, I think. If it's your calling, it hurts a little bit, but you feel you need it more than you feel it hurts, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, my husband's happy that Gateway's not in Brownsville anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's harder to get stuff now.
No, that's right. They did leave, didn't they?
And you know, people don't understand when you tell them, "Oh, I'm gonna buy this for my kids," and they look at you and they're like, "But it's so expensive," and I'm like, "But it's for my kids." Like they don't understand, and I get that a lot. I have gotten a lot of like faces where they're like, "Why are you gonna buy that?" Like they don't understand. So I always tell them, if you have to walk the shoes of a teacher, because when you give them that present, like we did a drive-by present giving yesterday, and I mean, I always teach my kids in December, we be grateful for everything we get, and no matter if we like it or not. The look on their faces when we handed them that gift, I mean, it was like, it was worth every extra I had to put. I mean, the school gave us money, but I wanted to give them a little bit more, and I think we all do.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever stick to what the school tells us to. Mm-hmm. Even though they tell us, guys, we know it's COVID, you know, save a little money, we all always have to go a little bit more. And the look on their face when they opened up that gift was just priceless. Mm-hmm. I'd do it again. I'd spend the money.
We'd spend our savings in a heartbeat.
What savings?
Yeah. What savings?
I'm an elementary librarian, and my favorite thing to do is to buy books that are required reading at the high school, so that any of the kids that I know, any of my friends or the neighborhood kids, they'll call me and say, Miss Maggie, do you have Of Mice and Men? Or do you have, you know, whatever? And I've gotten just because I like to be able to say, yes, I have the book you need. I'm here for you.
Wow, that's amazing that you would that's I find that very admirable that you guys are so devoted to this, and it's, you know, it's can't say enough. I appreciate all of you.
And I told when I was teaching university courses, I told students, I hope this is your calling. I hope this is your vocation, because if it's not, you're not going to be happy, and you're not going to make kids happy. So you're never going to get back what you think you're going to do. You're never going to sit and just teach the way you think you're going to just sit and just teach. Mm-hmm. So it really has to be a calling for you to stay in it. And I would tell students, I know we're limited in jobs opportunities down here, because I was teaching at UTB. And I tell them, I know we're limited down here, but gosh, if this is not your vocation, if this is not your true love, try and find something else, because you're not going to be happy and the kids are not going to be happy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so very true. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for being here. You're very welcome. It's something I don't know. Something hit me this morning when someone said, oh, my goodness, I'm so glad 12 o'clock comes around. And they were so freaking happy. And it just clicked. It'd be a good time to do something like this. So from the bottom of my heart, I do appreciate all of you and your colleagues and everything you do. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Manny. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.